to The Average Kitchen. Jamie here today, taking over for Mark. Today we're going to look at the Blendtec Classic 575 blender. The Average Kitchen bought this with its own money, much to its chagrin about the price. I believe it was around $465 on Amazon in Canada, so a little less for American friends, thank God for them. But just running through some of the stats on this thing, it's got a 1560 watt motor, 2-year warranty. It's got a 3-foot cord, 8 inches by 7 inches by 15 inches high. So it should fit under most countertops, or on most countertops under cabinets. And the weight is 7.28 pounds. So it's the first time I'm ever using this blender. Just took it out of the box. The jar that this one came with is the Wild Side Plus jar. So it also comes with the classic jar, depending on which model you get. And this handy dandy model came with this handy dandy spatula, which is actually pretty heavy duty. And it also came with this owner's manual, which at first glance, it seems thick enough, but it seems like there's about 48 languages in here. Your language, whatever it may be, only takes up that. Now in the front, you can see we've got the little screen here and then a bunch of buttons. To the best of my knowledge, what these means, some are obvious, stop, pulse, low to high, that's pretty self-explanatory. Also the 60 to the 90, pretty self-explanatory. Those are timed cycles. Over here, the little water drop, you got the clean cycle. And then on this one, we got the smoothie cycle.
What's the capacity of the...
According to the lines here, you got a 36-ounce blending capacity or 1100 milliliters, but the whole jar holds 90 ounces, which is interesting that you can only, I guess, fill it to the 36 ounce. Let's jump into the first test, which is going to be a almond milk. Favorite, loved by millions. So we're going to try it in the Average Kitchen today. So what I got here is a cup of almonds that have been soaked overnight, actually 2 nights. And then on this side over here, we have 4 cups of water. Now what I've read from this blender, they're very particular, as all blenders I guess probably are, about the order that you layer your ingredients. So they always say put the softest to the hardest. In this case, we just have the water and the almonds, which are certainly softer now than an unsoaked almond. Put the water in first, as directed. Big mess. So about 3 cups actually went in the blender. And then the almonds. Look at that. How good does that look? Well, there's a little residual water here, Mark, in the lid, so we didn't waste all of it. So put the lid on. Consulting the instructions here. So medium-high speed for 50 to 60 seconds. Let's see what happens. Okay, well, it did say 50 or 60 seconds, so I guess that's good. One observation, I was kind of scared of letting my hand off the lid because it did look like it was lifting up. I don't know if that means the capacity. Oh, it is over the 36 ounces to be fair, although I also followed the directions. So it certainly smells like almond, and that is a liquid for sure. Got a trusty sidekick here, but what we're gonna do is what it calls for, because there is little chunks of almond in there, which are probably not super appealing for when you drink it. So we have this cheesecloth / nut milk bag. We're going to strain it through. Actually, very smooth pour. Comment below if there's a better way to do this. All right, so here's what we're left with the almond milk. You might have noticed that I didn't put any other ingredients to really change the taste other than the almonds. Some of the recipes calls for other like sweeteners or even salt, things like that. I just kept it simple because really we're just seeing how well it will blend. So I'm going to taste it. We'll see how this goes. Cheers. Could use a sweetener. Consistency wise, very smooth, milky, probably like skim milk, I would say. Okay, now there's some cleaning to do, so we might as well test the cleaning. We'll come right back with that. I think in real life you might rinse this before actually cleaning it, but we're gonna see what this thing can do. So to clean it calls for a cup of water and a drop of dish soap. Lid on, and on this model there's the clean button as I mentioned before, so let's do that.
So what you couldn't see there, Jamie, is it started at, I think it was 25 seconds. So it obviously has like a pre-programmed cycle that it runs through.
Now we have to rinse it. I'll do that now. As you can see, I rinsed it out. I must say, I am pretty impressed with that. As far as ease of cleaning, it took 25 seconds with a drop of soap and a rinse. You know, there might be a couple spots I see. I noticed a little bit around the rim that I kind of had to, scrape off. I mean, it came off easily. But I think that's pretty impressive. So next, we're going to jump into a smoothie. So for the smoothie, this is a smoothie that I make semi-regularly. I was gonna say regularly, but Mark would certainly call me on that. So first thing I need is some water. So I just use a cup of water in there. I got some protein powder here that I brought from my average kitchen. And then I usually do like a handful of spinach. After that, I always put an apple in.
What kind of apple is that?
What'd you say? Cosmic?
Cosmic Crisp.
So I've never put a Cosmic Crisp apple in any of my smoothies, so we'll see how this turns out, but I just throw that in. Then I got some frozen pineapple here, so this will act as my ice/hard ingredient. So I'll put that on there. Now I might have to add water, which is normal. I normally do add a little bit more water sometimes with my smoothies, so proactively, I'm gonna add a little water because I think by looking at it, I will need some extra water anyway.
So half cup?
Yeah, roughly half cup. And this is a homemade recipe, so I'm allowed to play around with it. Ingredients in.
Moment of truth.
I am still a little leery of this lid, I have to admit, unless I'm just, maybe I have to, oh, maybe I'm just an idiot, and now I can actually put it on right. We have the smoothie button right here, so we're gonna hit the smoothie button, and we're gonna see what happens. Okay, looks like we have a smoothie. I don't know if you saw it on the film there, but the preset for the smoothie looked like it ran for 60 seconds at variable speeds. It went up and down through the whole time. Pretty violent action there. The one spot made me a little worried, but it's certainly blended a smoothie, seemingly without problem. We're gonna see the chunkiness of this in a second.
Jamie, can I make an observation?
Please.
Well, you'll see that the Blendtec offers is it's got a total count on how many blends you've done. So far you've done 3. I believe the way it works is no matter if you unplug the machine or plug it back in, it keeps a count on total amount of blends done.
I did figure out the lid, as you saw there. So you just basically have to clasp these little rubber things around the sides, and it certainly held up with much more confidence than the first test. It certainly looks smooth. Got a little glass here. The pour on this jar is unbelievable, I have to say. Cheers. Wow. That is fantastic. I'll talk about why I chose this smoothie to do. In my experience with the spinach and the apple, in my old blender, there'd always be chunks of the apple skin or the spinach left over inside your smoothie that you have to deal with sometimes in your teeth or whatever. So I was curious to see if this thing could pulverize them. You know, you could see some tiny pieces, but I mean, that is smooth. I call that a success. Next on the docket here is some one ingredient peanut butter. So this is 3 cups of peanuts here. I believe these are unsalted.
Salted.
Oh, salted, okay. Salty peanut butter. As per the instructions, it says to blend on low for 15 seconds, then increase to high until it hits 50 seconds. And there's a couple other instructions I will do as I'm told along the way. Let's start on low. So I'm gonna push our ingredients down to the blades here. Lid back on. Well, it smells and actually looks like peanut butter right at the bottom there. So now we're going low speed for 50 seconds.
It's trying.
Well, we're certainly getting there. So now I think we're on medium.
The sea was angry that day, my friends.
I'm gonna call it. I mean, that is a success.
I was doubting, and I am now a believer.
So I think from here, it just depends on how smooth of peanut butter you
Sure.
want.
Does it taste like peanuts?
All right, so after that huge success really with the peanut butter, we tried it and it's absolutely crunchy peanut butter.
Super good.
But I've been raving behind the scenes to Mark here about this cleaning of this thing because I love how it works. So now with this biggest mess to date,
Sticky mess.
it's very sticky, we're gonna see how the cleaning process does with this peanut butter. Here we go.
Still some work left.
That was, I mean, that's a stuck-on mess, as they say. Yeah, I'll have to rinse that. I'll probably have to wipe it, but what do you expect? All right, so as you can see, it cleaned up pretty easily with the peanut butter. I gave it a wipe. It certainly wiped easily off the jar, so really no concern there. So next we're gonna do cauliflower rice. As you can see, I've already cut, like rough chopped the cauliflower and put it in there. I fully expect this will work, but that's what tests are for. So I think for this, I'm gonna use the pulse button and basically just pulse it until it's at the consistency that I like. So here we go. I have a conclusion. It certainly made cauliflower rice. The issue, of course, is that the funnel, if you will, of the jar is too narrow. So the big pieces, so you can cut them smaller and it'll work, I'm sure, or you use your food processor. All right, so I put it through a cleaning cycle, but I'm gonna put it through another one just so we can see what the sound level is on this thing to give you an idea. The unscientific test here. So here we go. So all in all, we did a few tests on this product. So what do we think of it? Considering this is our first impressions because we never used this before, I think we're both impressed here. If you go through the different tests, peanut butter turned out fantastic. Cleaning, I love the cleaning cycle. Cauliflower rice, probably an argument to be made that this machine is not made for that. Although if you just chop them up into smaller bits or put less in at a time, it would certainly do it. Is it worth the money? Like I said, about $450 or $460 Canadian. If you are someone who's gonna blend every day smoothies, or if you're making your own peanut butter at home, almond milk, or any kind of nut milk or milk alternative, then yeah, I think so. It seems pretty robust that this thing's gonna last for years. Obviously, we don't know that for sure. It's very well built, very simple. I mean, I would say the average kitchen recommends this thing. Leave us a comment below what you think. Let us know what you think about our tests. Think they were fair? Did we leave something out? We'd love to hear from you, but other than that, see you in the next one.